So you might be coming to this video because you want to pass the AWS Solution Architect Associate exam.
I got you, homie.
And pretty much I am going to go over all the things in which I believe, helped me achieve this milestone of mine for over 7 years.
Are you serious?
Yes, 7 years. And to be honest, it wasn't like a straight, 7 years I was trying to pass this exam. Literally, I took the exam for the very first time this past October and I passed the exam. I actually passed both of these exams, the Cloud Practitioner and the Associate for the Solution Architect.
That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
So here's my tips on how to do that. And before I go into details on my tips, I'm going to go over the reason why. And pretty much the short answer to why I want to get into it is because I'm tired of Salesforce.
I'm tired, boss.
I want to go into something more technical, more high level, and build bigger and bigger systems that can actually do stuff really awesome. So pretty much what I'm saying is like Salesforce does a lot of the abstraction, deal with infrastructure and all that stuff. I want to get into more of the details of the infrastructure, maybe be able to find different use cases on how to use these services that AWS has. That's my why. Now here is the tips. So the first tip I have for you is actually understand the core services. AWS has like their study guide and so on, and maybe I put up a couple of those services out there while reading through this, but for the most part it's like it all kind of encompasses certain domains. You have your compute, you have your storage, you have your networking, you have your so on and so on. So these are like the core things in which the study guideline points out for you on how to pretty much study for this exam. And if you hit on those services, and especially in the in-scope services, and understand how to use these services, or just understand what they do and so on, you get a better understanding of the particular use cases. Because I think one of the things that really trip up a lot of people in this exam is that there could be possible two answers. And for example, hey, there's a saying in particular question that says you want to be cost conscious about what services that you're using, right? Or for the solution. And instead of, going with a EC2 instance and mounting it with an EBS, having a certain high SSD hard drive for it.
I don't think you have the facilities for that, big man.
You don't need all that. That's not being cost efficient. That is being more performance proficient. And maybe you want to go with a serverless, Lambda serverless, and pay as you go and scale up from there. Another use case, for example, maybe I need a process that's going to be loading data for more than 15 minutes or so. So Lambda functions are not able to load or be able to process data that's going to take more than 15 minutes. So that's completely scratched out. So if you see any of the answers that says Lambda, you can automatically scratch those things out and go with something like an EC2 instance that doesn't have a timing processing for the data. So these are just like things that you need to know about the different services and their limitations and so on, so that you can pick the best solution based off of what scenario that the answers, what the questions ask you. That's the recommendation for point 1. Point 2 is actually get hands-on experience.
Come on, man.
I can't stress this enough. It's like when you, especially in Salesforce, for pretty much my methodology behind learning anything is actually getting hands-on experience. I probably wouldn't have passed exam at all, or any other exams technically, if I don't have hands-on experience. From my personal opinion, you need to have like a familiarity of actually touching and implementing what you're going to be taking on the exam. So it's very vital to actually touch the tools, touch the services, and see how they actually work and function in real time. It's like learn about a hammer, but you never touch the hammer and you never drive a hammer into a nail into a board. It's something like that. So I need to know how to use these tools in order to pass this exam and get more familiar and get like a deeper understanding. And I think that helps beyond the exam, because now I feel personally, I pass this exam, I can actually implement what the services do and so on, build something from it. So that's why I highly recommend for step number 2. That's probably like the top one that I would do for all of them, really. It's like out of all these 3 recommendations, this is the top one for sure. However, here's the last one that I will leave you for. This is, going over practice exams. This is probably one of my least favorite one, and surprisingly, I thought if I get a certain amount of percentage on their practice exams, then I'd be fully ready for the exam.
My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined.
I could have been so further from the truth. I was failing the practice exams like crazy, and I used a particular service that a lot of people use in the industry that, says really great, really good. I'm not showcasing them because for the most part, it's like, man, they are pretty good. I like the fact it's very similar to this other service that I use for Salesforce certifications. If you get the answer wrong in the practice exams, it shows you the resources and linkage to the actual documentation. I like that very much, and it's very helpful for me because now I'm reading into the documentations and I understand all the particular details and the nuance of why that answer that I picked that was wrong, or why that answer that I picked that was right and why it was right. Because maybe I got it off of intuition and I was like, yo, yeah, that's right because of this. No, oh, I was right because of that. It was because, further deep into the documentation, that's the reason why. And gave me more deeper and deeper understanding of what this service is actually doing behind the background. I leave you with that. That's the reason why I passed these exams, and hopefully this will help you going forward. I will be putting out some content pretty soon on just random stuff that I've learned, and also just some building stuff, because that's what I like to do. I like to build stuff and get more and more deeper understanding behind the services that I use. Look out for that. So I'll see you in the next one. Peace.